Hello Statesman Nation, I'm Wade Steinloggy and this is In the Locker Room presented by Malcolm Lumber. On this week's show we will recap last week's games, including a run at Nationals by the men's basketball team and also a major milestone by our baseball coach. We will also preview next week's games, including headlined by bowling going to Nationals as well as home baseball and softball games. Additionally, we'll have a pair of special guests in the studio. All of that and much more. You're in the locker room. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. Once the calendar turns to March, Statesman Nation always expects a return trip down to Kansas City for men's basketball nationals. And despite a rough end to the basketball team's season, the team once again did return down to KC. So we're going to go right to the highlights and talk about the trip to nationals. William Penn taking on Vanguard in the first round, and a three-pointer by Elcinder gets things going. Alley-oop dunk for Bailey Dicateau. Now a drive and foul for Sherman. This game went back and forth for a long time. Nice drive by Darius Wheeler. Early second half, Malik Thomas with the three-pointer there. Midway through the second half, nice slip and bucket by Manuel. Getting the nice kick for Elcinder for a three-pointer. And now Edwards driving and leans in. William Penn held the lead for most of the second half. Daly getting into the action. No bucket here, but a great inbounds play. William Penn starting to pull away late here, beginning with this alley-oop dunk from Edwards to Sherman. Once again, Edwards finding Sherman. Back-to-back dunks for William Penn, and they roll at the end of this one. One more exclamation point dunk for Big O, and William Penn, the 6 seed, takes down the Vanguard Lions 69-53, the upset in the first round of the national tournament. Edwards with 16 points and 10 rebounds, 8 assists, a near triple-double for him. Sherman with just shy of a double-double, 15 points, 9 rebounds. Bailey Dicateau did have a double-double, 11 and 12. William Penn able to pull away with great free throw shooting, going 30 of 38 at the free throw line. So taking down the Lions in game one in the first round, and then they would move over and take on Lewis Clark State, the 2 seed out of the list and bracket. William Penn unfortunately could not come up with a big bucket or the big stop late against the Warriors and would fall 88-86 in the second round. Great performances though from Edwards, Sherman, and Elcinder as they did a good chunk of the work for William Penn. The Statesman ended up on the bottom end of the free throw battle this time. Lewis Clark State shooting an amazing, I think 86% overall. One player went 20 of 24, so William Penn knocked out in the second round. First time since the late 2000s that William Penn did not reach at least the quarterfinals at nationals, but still a great run. William Penn finishing 22 and 12 on the year. So once again, a great outing by the William Penn men's basketball team. Expect nothing short of nationals, unfortunately, for Coach Henry's teams, but they once again got back there. The baseball teams and softball teams, in addition to other sports, were also in action last week, beginning with the baseball team going up to Cedar Rapids to take on Mount Mercy in Heart of America Athletic Conference action. William Penn getting beat up pretty bad in the first game. Came in with a lengthy win streak but fell 11-2 in the first game. Blaze Spees going 3 for 4 with a homer. Zach Edgar pitching well, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts in the first game. William Penn bouncing back though in the second game. Lionel Colon with 5 innings worked, was pitching really well in the nightcap before he got knocked out with an injury, but did have 6 Ks, and William Penn held on 2-1 in game 2. The team then moving up to Piasta to take on Clark, a perennial power in the Heart, and picked up 2 wins against the Pride, 4-3 extra inning game, and then 9-2 defeating Clark in game 2. A couple great pitching performances by Tanner Badir and Alec Myers, and that second win would end up being number 1,000 for Coach Mike Laird. 1,000 career wins here at William Penn collegiately for Coach Laird in his 37th year. We'll recognize him this coming week in our first home games, but congratulations to him on that milestone. So William Penn picking up a couple of wins there. The softball team also in action, going down to Olathe, Kansas, and took on Mid-American Nazarene. Unfortunately, on Friday, it was not the Statesman's Day, falling 3-0 and 8-4. Nice outing by Springer, Katie Springer in game 1, 6 innings, but couldn't get the win in the first one. Game 2, a few different individuals coming up with multiple hits as well. The softball team would stay down south and take on Evangel as well on Saturday, and would end up bouncing back and sweeping the Crusaders 1-0 and 8-6, highlighted by a shutout by Carly Rose Perry in game 1. William Penn put up enough offense in the second game and held on late for that victory, so improving to 11-11 on the year and 2-2 in the Heart. Also in action, the women's golf team. We will have a member of that golf team later on in the show, but they competed at the Missouri Western Invitational, competing against a lot of D2 programs, and the squad would finish 6th out of 14 overall. Strong outing to begin the spring season. The track and field teams also in action, beginning their spring season, taking the team over to Grandview in Des Moines. Several individuals, 6 total individuals, came up with titles at Grandview on Saturday, so good start for the track and field teams as well, beginning their outdoor campaign. So officially we are now into spring. All of the winter sports over, and we're fully in the spring sports season. The weather is turning. Later on in the show we're going to talk to one of those golfers again, Elise Warren, but when we come back we'll have a chat with head cheer and dance coach Abby Reynolds. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters, and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. Teams that don't normally get a lot of exposure, but they're always in our face all the time with Sis Boomba and all of those things. We have Coach Abby Reynolds of the cheer and dance teams joining us here in the locker room. So, Coach, appreciate you coming in for a few minutes. Second year, got things totally figured out by now, right?
I think so. I think maybe just a few things still there, here and there, but yeah, I think I got it figured out.
Definitely.
So.
Let's talk about just the learning curve, I guess, of after the first year being really our first coach. I mean, it's your first head coaching job, but also our first full-time cheer and dance coach. So nobody really had any idea of what this was going to look like and things. But talk about what you learned from the first year, really just having to take it on yourself, but what you learned from first year to second year.
It's a lot of time management. I'm pretty good at that, but I've never been the head coach over 2 teams, so it takes a lot of planning and execution. I've learned that it is a lot of work, but the work is worth it, essentially. I've had a lot of fun. I came in here last year, just came in here, I didn't really know what to expect. So now, as my second year, I do know what to expect. I do kind of have a better vision of what I want the teams to be here in the next couple of years and what we're aiming for. I know the NAIA back in and out basically, because I've been around the NAIA since I was in college. So I'm really excited that now that there is a national championship, so looking at what those teams are bringing to the floor, what we can do, we're going to compete next year. So I'm super excited about that. Not a lot of people know, but we love doing game days, but cheer and dance, it's about that competition routine, and I can't wait to get back on the floor, the mat, whatever that is. So a lot of it is just learning what I needed to do to help with the culture, recruiting wise, but also just kind of the vision. It's not just you can focus on one year. You focus on that year and you're in the present, but you're also looking at, what we can make improvements for this year, next year, and year on. So.
Yep, definitely. Talk about some of the individuals on staff. I'm sure I was one of those that helped out a ton. Some of the individuals on staff that you relied upon a lot. Nick Rule, as our boss, was taking over new as well when he hired you. I think you were actually his first hire, if I recall. So I mean, he was trying to figure things out and figure out how he wanted everything to look, and didn't really know, again, especially how we want to cheer and dance, but individuals you've been able to rely on and say, hey, can you help me out with this? Like, what am I missing here, or is there an easier way to do this?
Well, kind of what you talked about. I think the support we have from everybody here. Cheer and dance sometimes doesn't, like you kind of mentioned before, it doesn't get the recognition, or I've been at schools that it doesn't have the support. So coming to this and how the administration, even the athletic staff, even faculty and staff want to support us, I think that's tremendous. So as a whole, William Penn's just been great with the support. The individuals that I've really looked to, the head track and field coach, Alan Friesen, he's been someone that, if I just need some extra, support or, bounce ideas off of, I do not have an assistant, so it's nice that I can go to him. And he's been at multiple different schools. He's been here a long time, so he can give me some, I don't want to say fatherly advice, but fatherly advice. Of course, you've been amazing with your kids and your family, so I can't say enough great things about you. And then even some of my other coaches, I don't have an assistant, so even when it comes to like Valerie helping us drive down to nationals, or if I'm not on campus, someone helping me, like Coach Z, part of the track team, he met one of my recruits because I was out recruiting. So it's little individuals here and there, just if I do need help, I know I could call someone and that they would be there. So it's been awesome.
Right. A big part of your job the first 2 years is just building up the program. That the numbers had slipped a bit there. So recruiting has been a huge part of just the day-to-day life for you. So talk about the individuals that you've been going after, where you've been going, stuff like that.
I feel like I've been all over. So for most sports, there's websites, recruiting websites you can go onto. Cheer and dance is not that fortunate. So we do have one which I've really gone to use for this year. You have their profile, you have what they want to major in GPA. So I do want people that want to come into this and be very academically sound. So I do look at GPA, but I do look at their skill level, and it has all that in their profile. So I mainly just reach out to them, do a recruiting call. That was a lot of the fall. Now as the spring rolls around, I'm doing that with juniors, and then I have gone, I have coaching friends kind of all over. I coached in Texas, I've coached in Kansas, I know Missouri, so I reached out to some of those coaches to see where they go, like, because I wanted to put myself more out there this year. So I have gone to Texas, I have gone to Colorado, I have gone to Kansas multiple times, Missouri, so there's multiple different events that I've kind of done a little bit different and put myself out there. And like I said, for commits, we have people coming from all over the United States, Colorado, Georgia, Texas, Kansas, Missouri. We have local kids in Iowa. So a lot of the events are just, one, going to competitions, two, something a little bit different than I think a lot of sports do is that we get to actually set up a booth. It's kind of like an admissions fair, but we get to set up a booth at these competitions. So we, and a lot of the times we get the girls' or the athletes' information before we even get to the competition, so I can reach out with them and make that kind of initial conversation. But I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I think that's really helped with people wanting to invest in here, this program, and meet me and what kind of my vision is for the team and meet the athletes. And a big thing is I am very fortunate that I have got to take my athletes to some of these recruiting things, and it's nice for an incoming, recruit or something to get to meet current athletes and get the, the real deal basically. So that's helped tremendously with recruiting.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, one final thing, expectations for the future of cheer and dance. I know, again, we don't really know what we want this thing to look like. You know better than anybody, but what's your plan?
Well, we have done the game day aspect for both years now, so I think that has taken positive steps in the right direction each year. We'll have some probably harder routines next year for dance. Cheer, obviously, we will have a lot of tumbling, or as some people like to say, the flippy stuff. So we will have a lot of that going on, and more stunting, so that will be kind of a new expectation for game day. I am really big into game day. Even if we're not on the sideline supporting whatever team, I think we should be at baseball games and go to volleyball games and track, and just give our support, because we are the spirit of whatever college we're at. So new things coming that way, some stuff you guys probably haven't seen in a while. And then the bigger expectation is just the competition aspect. We haven't been competing, so it's going to be something new. We're going to have multiple competitions, some closer, so I would love the support out there. It's a different realm that I bet William Penn hasn't seen in a while, so I'm really excited. I've already booked choreographers for next year. Two of my really good friends that I trust, and I can know that they're going to guide my team in the right way. So a huge expectation is what competition's going to bring next year. And then for 5 years down the road, I want to keep building. I don't have a number in mind. I just want people out there. The bigger the better. In essence, especially for cheer, you can do multiple stunts, multiple flippy stuff, etc. And I just want us to be known. I want us to be known in the heart, but I want us to be known in the NAIA. That's my ultimate goal, and I want my athletes to feel good about what they're putting on. My kind of philosophy is, yes, I do care about winning. Everybody, all coaches do, but if my athletes don't go out on the floor and feel good with what they did, or 100%, then I'm not doing my job as a coach. So I really want to make that impact on my athletes, that they feel good, that they're excited, that they really, we have a very small group right now, but they're really buying into the culture and laying the foundation of what to come. So I'm very excited for the next couple of years.
Definitely. All right, well, thank you, Coach
welcome.
Reynolds, so much for giving us a little insight. Again, a program that a lot of people don't know about, and programs that a lot of people don't know about, the cheer and dance squad. So expect a lot of great things from Coach Reynolds' teams in the future. When we return on In the Locker Room, we will have Elise Warren of the women's golf team.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger.
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. The weather has improved and it is time for golf season. So we're going to talk to Elise Warren now, of a senior from Melbourne, Australia, of the women's golf team. So Elise, appreciate you coming in for a few minutes here. Guys, just you win-win-win. That's what the women's golf team does here at William Penn. So you're just adding to the tradition and obviously taking the team to an even higher level. But before we get into talking about the expectations for the rest of this year, which is a very quick season in the spring, let's talk about the off season a little bit, how you guys prepared, and then talk about this past tournament.
Yeah, so we had a good season last year. Finished in Missouri at the conference preview. Yeah, it was a great success last semester, and so we get a little bit of a break and then come back in the new year and we start hitting inside multiple times a week. We work out a couple times a week. Yeah, unfortunately the winter's been long, so we haven't been able to go outside until spring break when we went down to Dallas. That was a fun trip, and we got to play some golf down there and in Oklahoma, where the Nationals is going to be. My second home course, and yeah, so that's sort of what we've been doing at the moment.
You guys already have a tournament under your belt finally. I know that obviously wanted to start everything a little bit earlier, but you did get to go down to the St. Louis area and play in the Missouri Western Invitational. Talk about that a little bit with playing against some of those bigger teams and all of that, but another great showing by the Statesmen.
Yeah, it was good. We were as prepared as we could be at that point, with not having been able to play outside much. So the scores looked a little higher, but the course conditions were quite difficult. And honestly, we did really well considering the situation. And yeah, it was honestly just really fun to get out there and play. I know we all really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Talk about the rust and where the rust needed to be knocked off, especially maybe for you, being that you guys didn't have a lot of opportunities and you can only do so much indoors.
Yeah, of course. Like, we got to do quite a bit of long game practice indoors, and that really helps. We have a sky track which shows you what your shots do when you hit them into a net. The biggest thing when you come back in spring, it happens every year, is short game. It's just the little incremental 1%ers, like getting a feel on the greens, and the greens not being perfect right now as well is also another factor. So definitely, like, short game for myself, I find is always the last thing to come back after a long winter break. So yeah.
Yeah. Senior year, you guys have won already 3 conference titles, been to nationals 3 times. It's old hat for William Penn anymore, it seems like, but I know it's always exciting to the hoist the hardware. But talk about your expectations for this final year as you're going into your final month of collegiate ball.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Obviously, want to win another one, but that's not really what we're about. We want to do things the right way, and then the results will come. And conference is just one of those things. It's just another tournament, and we want to be able to set ourselves up this semester so that we peak at the right time. That's what we always do every year, and that's pretty much why we've had the success that we've had. yeah, I'm really looking forward to the season. I just want to enjoy it. I just want to go out there and leave everything out on the course and make it, a memory that I can remember for a really long time.
Definitely. Well, soak it up the last month. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and you guys will get all those tournaments in, and when it's all said and done, you're going back to nationals and all that fun stuff. So once again, Elise Warren of the women's golf team, I appreciate her time, and best of luck to her and the team as they finish up this 2018-2019 season. When we return on In the Locker Room, we will preview all of this week's many games, including home games for the baseball and softball teams, as well as nationals for the bowling teams.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters, and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. The full week of action coming here for the Statesmen. We'll get right to it. The softball team will be taking on Columbia, the defending national runner-up, Columbia Cougars, going down to Missouri on Monday for a doubleheader. See if they can knock off one of the best teams in the NAIA. Also, the team will be taking on Graceland on Wednesday, teams 2-2 in Hart play, and also then on Saturday, Peru State will be coming to town. Both Graceland and Peru State will be at home, so a very busy week for the softball team upcoming. Baseball team will finish off its triple header, 3 games set against Clark as the Pride come to town on Tuesday. William Penn looking for the sweep of that Hart triple header. Culver Stockton then coming to town on Saturday and Sunday, 3-game series. William Penn sitting with a strong record, hoping to finish off a very strong week and get get into the rankings hopefully in this upcoming week. As aforementioned, the bowling teams will also be fighting for a national championship. One of 2 national tournaments the teams will be competing in this year, but this one is the NAIA Invitational, final year of invitational status. The men are ranked 2nd in the NAIA, the women are 7th, so both teams have a great opportunity to bring home some serious hardware at the NAIA level. USBC Nationals will be next month. Women's golf team will continue its spring season, the Southern Illinois Invitational today and on Monday, and also next Saturday and Sunday the Iowa Central Community College Open as well for the women. The men's golf team also in action beginning its spring season, going to the Kansas Wesleyan Invitational. That will be Monday and Tuesday down in Salina, Kansas. Let's see how the team gets ready for the spring season. And finally, the track and field teams also in action, going to Baldwin City, Kansas for the Baker Relays. So once again, lots of things going on now that the weather has finally cooperated. We're going right into spring seasons, and before we know it, we'll be out of the spring season. So definitely stay in touch with all of William Penn's athletics at statesmanathletics.com, but definitely also watch us here on In the Locker Room. We'll have recaps of all of these matchups, as well as an interview with a coach and a player next week. Until then, go Statesman.